Welcome to our webinar for this month, where we're focusing on using AI to retain customers. So important. And I'm going to show you three ways that we can do that in this session. Thank you so much for those of you who've jumped on to watch this presentation. I will first talk about why it's so important to retain customers. There's been so much research into it just to show that it's cost effective. It costs 5 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to keep the existing ones. A 5% increase in customer retention can also have a huge impact on your profitability as a business. So it can increase it by 25% to 95%. It depends on the business, of course, but really it just pays to not only financially, but I believe customer retention is really due to trust and building trust. It takes time to build trust over the long term. And I think trust essentially is when you can count on the other party to do what they say they're going to do and to learn that the other party knows you really well. You feel seen and heard, and you just feel supported by that other party. In your case, it would be your business. The customer feels like a strong connection to your business because they feel heard and seen and understood, and you're providing to them a service or a product that really suits their specific needs. I think AI can really help you in building that trust over the long term because it can give you really valuable insights into your customers. And if you've got a lot of customers as well, it's very good at identifying sort of themes and different aspects of and segments around your customer base. In this webinar, we're going to look at how we can use AI for three different techniques in terms of using it around retaining customers. The first is to spot customers that may be looking to leave and no longer be your customers. Super important. So you can spot it's called spot churn, trying to identify the at-risk customers before they leave, which would be really good. Then you can try and encourage them to stay and rebuild that relationship. The second is around personalization, which AI is really good at in using your customer data in a safe and ethical way to, I'm sorry, my LinkedIn was just on, to analyze their purchasing behaviors and then come up with offers that are personalized to them and their needs. Now, if you have a huge customer base and it can be difficult to do it for everybody, but you could find sort of segments of your customers using AI to then craft an offer or a product or service around that particular segment. But it's not just that bespoke that it's for one person. And then the other way is providing feedback loops, looking at the feedback they're giving you and then using AI to help you to come up with different responses that are personable and personalized to them and customized to them, but without you having to sit there and taking hours to do it yourself. But again, making sure that it doesn't look like it's AI generated either, because I'm so against that. It's got to look like your work and your content. And the retention challenge is really around sort of being more proactive, and AI can help you to do that, to be more proactive in the way that you are engaging with your customers and your existing customer base. Because sometimes if you leave it too long, they're often gone, and it's very hard to get a customer back once they've left. And often trying to find out what happened, some customers are good at telling you why they're leaving, but others just go and they just ghost, and you try and find out what happens and they never respond to you. This is AI can help you to be more proactive, and it also helps you to keep up that analysis regularly so you understand where your clients and customers are at constantly, rather than just doing it in response to something that may have happened. And that early intervention can really help to reduce the risks of them leaving, because ultimately we're dealing with people. We talk about customers and clients and things like that, but we're really talking about individuals. And as I said at the beginning, you want them to feel like they can trust you and feel seen and heard. And often, though, without assistance, it's very hard for us to do that. AI can be really helpful in that. With the first demonstration I'm going to show you, it's around spotting that churn before it happens, predicting behavior based on pattern recognition and deeper insights, and identifying risks. To do that, it's really good to have some sort of data that you can put in. Anonymized feedback data is really good if they're giving you feedback through the website or email or things like that, and being able to really track that. Some examples here are, so depends on your business. So if someone's lodging a ticket where they need support, so it might be a help desk or something like that. If you're doing a survey at the end of each year, or even a survey after a product or service has been delivered, and then you compile those surveys into a spreadsheet, that can really help. Reviews and emails and those sorts of things can also assist. And using a tool, look, I recommend, while it says free LLMs, you will get more deeper insights and better outputs with a paid one. And it could be ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, whatever it may be. The other thing to remember is, when you're using any sort of data, you need to make sure that you have taken out sensitive information. You anonymize the data, take out names and just those privacy details. And I'm sure you have a privacy policy at your organization. It's really important to remove those things, because it's not important, and you don't want to give that to the AI, even when you are paying for it. So even though when you're paying for it, the data is more secure, but I would not trust it at all. So just to be compliant, make sure you take that information out. Let's go to the prompt. Now, this is the first one. The prompt is: your goal is to identify the key themes and recurring issues that could lead to customer churn. Please structure your analysis with the following markdown headings. You want an overall sentiment summary, and it's based on the content you're giving it. I've developed a spreadsheet which has feedback from customers around particular products and services, and that's just in an Excel spreadsheet. And I ask it to put the top three churn risk themes. So, what the titles are for each, and then key dissatisfaction keywords. So that way you can get a feel for the sentiment around when people are unhappy and things like that. And then you can start to do some deeper analysis. Let me grab this prompt. I'll just get out of here and I'll copy it. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I love, this is Gamma that I'm using, which is a really great presentation tool, but it can be a bit clunky sometimes. Let's go into ChatGPT now. I've put this in, and then I've got a spreadsheet here that has customer sentiment on it. And how you collect that is really up to you, but it's a really good practice when people are leaving any sort of feedback to put it into a spreadsheet, just so you have that. I've put that in here. I've got the prompt here, and what I'll say is the feedback to analyze is attached. Let me show you. This was the spreadsheet. So it's got like the customer ID, what the feedback was. And so this was from like a rating scale. And then they've got a loyalty tier. It depends on what you're using and what sort of customer relationship management tool you're using. But I've just created a spreadsheet here. So let's go now and just see what it's come back with. It says the overall customer sentiment among high churn risk users is negative. Now, I do have to say that this spreadsheet has been developed for this presentation. This is not Dharana Digital's customer spreadsheet, but it's identified. I put it together to see how it would do it. It's the average rating is 1.46 out of 5, driven largely by frustration over declining quality and value for money. It's picked that up really well. And then the top three churn risk themes: declining product quality, poor value for money, and then post purchase support and communication gaps. Now, this is really valuable information because it's often hard, like when you've got a large spreadsheet, to go through everything and come up with those themes, but this has done it really well. And it's identified three areas for improvement for this business because it's gone, okay, we need to look into why is the product quality declining? And then what is this about? This perception of poor value for money. Like, how can we address that? And then what's happening after the purchase and looking into whether there is that support there, whether staff are being responsive to questions and those sorts of things. And then the keywords have come back here too. It really highlights where the areas for improvement are and what can be done to fix it. That's the first way that you can use it. Let's go back to the presentation. It's really using chat, and you can use, as I said, Gemini or ChatGPT, but it's really using it for that analysis to predict ahead of time what's going on. The next way is through that personalization of offers. And so why this is important is because it's like with just communication in general. When you, if you try and speak to everybody, you're not going to connect with anybody. And so it's coming up with these sort of personalized offers and rewarding loyalty by showing that you really understand your customer base. And so it's by doing that hyper personalization, showing that you understand. And I think, I don't know about you, but when something is customized to me or it feels like it is, I feel so much more connected to a brand that does that because I feel like, oh, they really get me or have taken the time to know me. The other thing is it's allowing you to come up with the right message at the right time for the right person. And then it just deepens that feeling of trust and loyalty. With this one, what we're going to do is you're going to generate personalized offers based on previous purchase history. We're going to use again, I'll use ChatGPT, but you can use it to come up with personalized offer and to create content around the analysis of previous purchase history. We're going to use it to define segments first and then come up with a customer persona. And we've covered this in previous webinars, why it's really helpful to have a persona. And then we'll prompt the AI to draft emails and suggest rewards as well. And then you can then integrate it into, if you're doing emails, that's probably the most direct way to get to your client base in that way and create those segments so you reach them. But again, I have to say this, don't put personally identifiable information into the AI. So always anonymize your data. Okay, the first step is to define the segments. What if you're using like an e-commerce platform, this is where it's much easier, where you can first go to, if you're using say Shopify or Etsy or something like that, where you've got that customer data on there, that customer list, and then you filter out. If you want to go for more people who pay for high ticket items, then make sure you filter out and go so their spend is greater than 200, and then giving it a time frame. This is for the last, like no more than 90 days. And then you get that list. And then the goal then is to create this sort of summary segment. So that persona, the profile around, and then write a short description of based on the trait. Then you've got the profile text there. Let's first of all we'll give it the AI the pre-prepared customer list, and then you've got I'll ask the AI to write a short description based on the segment's traits. Let's go over, first of all, I will grab this prompt. Oh, let me get that back. Then we will go back over to ChatGPT and we will say to create a safe and anonymized summary of the segment. I will get it to analyze this data set and write a short. Let's upload the file demo 2. What I love about ChatGPT as well is that it will show you, like once we get going, I'll put that in there. It'll show the spreadsheet, so you can see here. Clearly, there's then not their personal emails in there. Total orders, total spend, where they find you, those sorts of things. Now it's come up with this analysis of the segment. It represents high churn e-commerce customers and their mid-tier customers, where they're coming from, which is really helpful information. And how often they open emails, how often they go to the site. And then it says waning interest, weaker brand connection. What we'll do now is we'll give it this prompt. This prompt is around now crafting a personalized offer for this particular segment to try and keep them on board. And the prompt says, act as an expert customer relationship management and retention marketing copywriter with a friendly, warm, and authentic tone. Your goal is to write a compelling win-back email to a segment of high-value customers, which is this one, who haven't purchased in over 90 days. Use the following anonymized customer persona context. I'll just get it to use what it's already said there as well for what it's already given us, and then the subject line and email body and what that will be. Let's go to the prompt. Let me just get this copy. Oh, sorry, I've been on the wrong screen. Let me show you, the prompt is in here. We'll go back over to ChatGPT and I'll paste it in because you'll be able to see it better in there anyway. Okay. Use the previous customer persona for context, and then I've got in here the prompt, part of the prompt about the email. Let me put that in. I've said, please write the email with the following elements. Subject line, make it engaging and personable. Email body, acknowledge their loyalty, mention it's been a while, offer a 15% discount as a thank you. Okay, so we've got that in here. I'd get rid of that M dash straight away. And remember, you need to edit this as well. It's giving you that first draft. We've missed you around here. Say thank you for your past loyalty to make your next visit extra special. Your favorites are still here. It's customizing it to them. So it's friendly and not pushy. Let's go back now to that. It's given us the sort of the email. And that way, it's really important to integrate that. You can put it into your MailChimp or whatever it may be, but of course you need to edit it. And you've got to think of what's going to be viable for your business as well. It may not be a 15% discount, but just something that you can give to them to make them want to come back. And it depends on your business. You may not have an e-commerce business, but it's just something that you can do. You can even go deeper with that analysis. While they've done this, you could even look at including in your email the product that they did. You can really even personalize it even further with tools like MailChimp as well. You may even see, based on your analysis, if it's a tool like product or a service that they might need again, mentioning that in the email to show that you're aware of what they need and things like that. You can even drill down even further. The next technique I'm going to show you is about building engaging feedback loops. And this is very similar to the first demonstration, but the first demonstration was about predicting and being proactive, whereas this is more about responding to feedback instead. People want to be seen and heard, and AI can really help with this because it streamlines the analysis of the feedback and then can help you to respond really quickly as well and in a way that's very meaningful, and it helps it to be much more engaging. And for this, it's really good to collect any feedback that you have. Reviews are really good, any sort of survey data, anything like that, and even comments and emails, even comments on social media posts, like gathering those as well is really helpful. But again, anonymize that data. And so the steps in this point is to bring together that feedback and then again use the AI to identify sentiment and key themes and then generate personalized response templates that you can use and just have them on there ready for when the same sort of comments and feedback come up, but always again edit before you put anything out, because you saw even with that, like the M dash thing is still going on. Sometimes it can be a bit cheesy and you want to make it your own. You want to give it that human sparkle that I often talk about. The first thing to do is aggregate. I've done that. I've pulled together a range of feedback for this demonstration. So then you can use it for the analysis. And then you use the AI to extract all that. Here is the prompt that we'll put into ChatGPT with that feedback spreadsheet. The prompt is act as a customer experience analyst. Your task is to analyze the following collection of anonymized customer feedback comments. Your goal is to identify key themes, overall sentiment, and categorize the topics. Please structure your analysis with these markdown headings. And then you've got overall sentiment, a one sentence summary, which can really help to bring things together. But it's always a good idea to read through that data as well, just to get a feel for it, because sometimes the AI may not capture everything. Then the key positive themes, areas for improvement, and topic categorization. That's that. And what we'll do is we'll pop that in. Oh, it's got a mind of its own this evening. Okay. All right. Back in ChatGPT, pop it in, and then I'll just say the feed analyze is attached. It's better to, if you can not just have one piece of feedback, to have a good sort of set of data to be able to analyze. Survey data is really helpful if you're sending out a survey to a large group of people, and bringing that in, it can be helpful for that. I'll pop this spreadsheet in. Okay. And of course, you can customize these prompts to suit your business and what you want to know as well. It's just analyzing that now. And you can see here, this was the source. We've got Google reviews, Google Forms, all different types, what the feedback was, their rating, that sort of thing. So it's come back now. Key positive themes. Overall sentiment is mixed, leaning slightly to negative. So 62 compared to 58 and 30 neutral. Product quality. So customers had good experience, appreciate the durability, performance, and overall value. Communication. So they like the newsletters, and then delivery, smooth logistics and reliable shipping times. And key areas for improvement: pricing and quality and communication. And then topic characterization, so the ones that appeared the most and the least, and then a summary there. That's helpful. Come back here. Then the next part of this is, so you've got that information, and then using the AI then to come up with different responses to this sort of feedback. The response prompt is: act as an empathetic customer service specialist. A customer left the following negative feedback. And then it's got like an example, something from that spreadsheet. My order arrived late and the box was damaged. I'm really disappointed. And then you say your task is to draft 3 distinct response options. Each should show empathy, acknowledge both issues, propose a clear next step, and maintain professional tone. Label them option 1, 2, and 3. Now, what I recommend for this sort of stuff too is even developing a custom GPT, which I've covered before, based on your brand's voice, because you want the brand voice and personality to come out in all your communications, especially when you're apologizing. It's really important. Here's the prompts that we've put in. So let's see what it comes back with. Again, get rid of the M dashes. I'm really sorry to hear that your order arrived later than expected. The box was damaged. Send us a photo. Just quick thank you for letting us know. This is they're all different angles of an apology. Because sometimes, I don't know about you, sometimes you get stuck on how to write an apology or what to say or different ways. And I like to get different opinions and perspectives on how to do it. Also, writing difficult, when you have to write a difficult email, it's good. Sometimes you get a bit stuck. This really helps to get you going. Yeah, then it's giving you 3 different responses there, which can help. Let's get back to the presentation. And then of course, it's always good to edit the response that you choose and not just do it in an automated way. I'm not sure if you saw this. It was like a year or two ago. There's a company called ASOS, I think, and they're like a clothing brand. And they had an automated bot on their Facebook. If anyone said like refund or something, it would automatically do an apology. And people just did it then. They didn't need a refund or anything like that, but they just did it and the bot just went crazy. And yes, doing that sort of stuff can save you time, but it looks so bad for your brand because it's showing that it's not authentic and you're not looking at issues one by one. Whereas while you're using AI to help you with this, you still are communicating with people on an individual level. And I think that's really important. It's just saving you a bit of time rather than crafting everything from scratch. Review and select which one, and then personalize and send, of course. The things to remember when you are doing this, which I've touched on already, is making sure you remove any identifiable information in spreadsheets and customer information before you're putting it in there. If you can, make sure that you can turn off, depending on what you're using, you can sometimes turn off where it says it will train on the data that you give. So you can turn that off. Whether they do that or not, I don't know really, but you can still turn it off. We've talked about human oversight and also bias. Just be aware that some outputs can be biased just based on what they're trained on. And then also be transparent with your customers about the way that you use AI as well. It's good to start small. Like I recommend picking something to do with your customer retention that you either find challenging or you don't enjoy, and think of a way that AI can help you with that. It might be one of the three ways we looked at today. And then train your team or whoever's going to do that task to show them how to do that in an ethical way. And it's really important to have an AI policy in your organization around that. Remember to define the goals of why you're using it, what you're aiming to achieve by using AI in this way, and then measure if it's effective. If you're using it to reduce churn of customers, is it working? Benchmark it from before you started using the AI to after, and then look out for tools that can help you to do that. There are so many, and if you're using a customer relationship management system, there is a lot of AI now integrated into those platforms. Just make sure that you may not need to use an external tool. You may just see what features that the tools you're using already have. Key takeaways, it's AI is a great data analysis tool if you use it in an ethical way, and if you're clever in the way that you use it to try and use it in a way to deepen the human connection between your customers. Not automate it, but learn more about them and learn about how you can give them what they need to, and also to communicate with them to make them feel seen and heard and valued. That's it for this session. Does anyone have any questions at all? And if not, that is perfectly fine. While I wait for questions, I'll move on. If you want to learn more about AI or strategic social media management, there are my books. If you haven't yet joined the AI for Strategic Communication community, please do. It's free and you'll get lots of AI news there, access to this webinar every month. And then I do an AI workshop every so often, and you'll get a really big discount if you're in the community as well. I do have a workshop coming up, learning how to use Canva to create video. If you join the group, you will get a 25% discount on this workshop, and you get the slides, you get the video. There's a lot of bonuses, and you'll also get an extra 10% discount off the next workshop too. Our next webinar and the final one for 2025, I can't believe it, we're going to look at AI in the context of strategic communication for 2026 and what we need to look out for, what's coming, what people are doing. Because I recently returned from the Marketing AI conference in Cleveland, Ohio, in the USA, and learned a lot of stuff about where things are heading. And I'm going to share that with you in this final webinar for the year. This will be advertised on the Dharana digital page, on mine, and in the Facebook group as well. And yeah, that's it. Oh, Cindy, no questions today. Thanks for joining, Cindy. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you to everyone for watching. And I'll be back on the 25th of November for our final webinar for 2025. Thanks so much, and I'll see you then. Thank you.